A man wakes up alone in an abandoned hospital to find London empty, shattered, and quiet in the most terrifying way. When he finally meets a woman survivor, she tells him the truth. The outbreak didn't create slow monsters. It created fast, furious infected who can spot you in seconds. As they race through dark streets and underground tunnels, they find other survivors and follow a promise of rescue from a military safe zone. But safety has a price, and trust is hard when fear is everywhere. The closer they get to shelter, the more they realize they may be walking into a different kind of nightmare. Chapter 1. I woke up to an empty world. When I opened my eyes, the room smelled like old paper and bleach that had lost the fight. My throat was dry. My lips were cracked. A hospital bracelet hung loose on my wrist like it belonged to someone else. The window blinds were half bent, letting in thin, dusty light. I tried to remember how I got here, but my mind slid off the memory like water off glass. The last thing I could grab was a feeling, rushing, shouting, then darkness. I pushed myself out of bed. My legs shook. The floor was cold, and I realized my shoes were still on, like I'd never been properly settled into this place. I found a door and opened it. Silence. No nurses. No rolling carts. No distant voices. The hallway was lined with open rooms, like the building had exhaled everyone at once. Papers were scattered across the tiles. A sign pointed to the exit, and I followed it, half expecting someone to stop me. The lobby made my stomach drop. The glass doors were shattered. The reception desk was overturned. There were dried streaks on the floor that I didn't want to study too closely. It looked like a panic had happened here. A fast panic. Outside, the street was empty. Not early morning empty. Not holiday empty. This was a different kind of empty. Cars sat abandoned with doors open. Trash moved when the wind pushed it, and nothing else moved at all. I stepped into the road. The city around me felt like a set after the actors had gone home. Then I heard a sound behind me. A footstep, careful and close. "Don't move," a woman's voice said. I turned slowly. She stood near a church entrance, holding a metal pipe like she knew how to use it. Her eyes were sharp, her face tired, and she looked at me like I was either a trap or a problem. "I'm not infected," I said, even though I didn't know what infected meant yet. She didn't lower the pipe. "You don't know that," she replied. "You just woke up, didn't you?" Chapter 2. The Rules of Staying Alive. Her name was Mara. She led me into the church, where candles burned low, and the air smelled like smoke and dust. She kept distance between us, like fear had become a habit. "You've been out for weeks," she said. "Everything changed fast." I asked the question I was afraid to ask. "Where is everyone?" "Dead," she answered. "Or infected." She explained it in simple terms, because complicated terms didn't matter anymore. A virus, anger, rage. People who got blood in their eyes or mouths changed in seconds. Not days, seconds. And they didn't shuffle. They ran. I didn't want to believe her. Then we heard screaming outside, high, broken, and close. Mara grabbed my sleeve and pulled me through a side door into an apartment above a shop. The windows were boarded. A radio sat on a table, like it was the last voice left in the world. Mara gave me water and watched me drink, studying my hands for shaking, my eyes for redness. "First rule," she said, "no sudden movements in the open. Second rule," she glanced at the radio, "don't trust hope. Hope gets loud." As if the city heard her, a crash echoed somewhere nearby. Then another. Fast footsteps slapped pavement. Mara killed the lamp. We waited in darkness while something ran past the building, breathing hard, making sounds like a person, but not like any person I wanted to meet. I held my breath until my lungs burned. When it was quiet again, Mara whispered, "Now you understand." Later, she decided we had to move. The apartment wasn't safe. Nowhere stayed safe for long. We went out at night, moving from shadow to shadow. The streets were wet, reflecting a broken sign that sparked and died. We passed a crashed bus and saw blood on the asphalt that looked too fresh. A figure stood under a street lamp, twitching like it was listening to something we couldn't hear. Mara pulled me toward the underground entrance. Graffiti covered the walls. The steps down were slick. The air below was colder. "Why are we going down there?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Because up here, they see you," she said. "Down there, we might hear them first." The subway platform was lit with red emergency lights. Old luggage lay abandoned, like people had dropped their lives and ran. At the far end of the tunnel, something moved. Mara's flashlight shook. "Quiet," she mouthed. A wet sound echoed from the dark, like someone chewing with their mouth open. Then came a cough that turned into a snarl. And then the running started. Chapter 3. Other survivors, other lies. We didn't stay underground. We ran up a service stairwell and burst into open air, lungs burning. Behind us, screams bounced off the tunnel walls. The infected didn't get tired. They didn't hesitate. They just chased. Mara led me through back streets until the buildings thinned into suburbs. The silence out there felt different, heavier, like the city's noise had been replaced by something watching. We reached a barricaded house. The front door was reinforced with furniture and boards. Before Mara could knock, a voice called from inside, "Step back." A man opened a slit in the barricade and aimed a shotgun through it. His hands were steady, but his eyes weren't. Mara spoke first. "We're clean. We're passing through." After a long moment, the door opened enough to let us in. The man's name was Grant. The woman with him was Elise. Their living room was a fortress made of couches and tables. Family photos were scattered on the floor, as if looking at the past hurt too much. Grant didn't like me. I could tell. He looked at my hospital gown like it proved I was weak or a risk. Elise spread a map on the kitchen table under a battery lantern. A radio crackled with a looping broadcast. A military voice promising protection and a safe zone outside the city. "Is it real?" I asked. Grant snorted. "Real enough to get people killed trying." Elise tapped the map anyway. "It's the only signal we've heard that sounds organized. If there's a perimeter, there's food. There's medicine." Mara stayed quiet, but her jaw tightened. Later, when Grant went to check the windows, she leaned close to me. "People change," she whispered. "When the world ends, the rules end too." In the morning, we moved as a group. 4 of us, low and fast, following roads filled with dead cars. Crows watched from guardrails. The sky was the color of old metal. We approached an on-ramp where a wrecked ambulance lay on its side. There was a checkpoint sign ahead, half torn down. Something moved between the cars. Then we saw them, infected, running across the road far away, like they were drawn by sound we hadn't even made yet. Grant motioned us down. We crawled between vehicles, breath held. A single wrong sound happened anyway. A loose can under my foot. A small, sharp clink. The nearest infected stopped like a switch had been flipped. Its head snapped toward us. Mara grabbed my arm. "Run." We sprinted off the road, down into a drainage canal under a bridge. Shallow water soaked my gown. My feet slipped on slime-covered concrete. Behind us, something dropped into the canal with a splash, and then more splashes followed. Grant fired once. The shot thundered under the bridge, and the infected screamed back like the sound excited them. We ran until my lungs felt torn, and as we climbed out the far side, I realized something worse than being chased. We were being herded. Chapter 4. The safe zone isn't safe. The fence appeared at dawn, barbed wire, floodlights, sandbags. A hand-painted sign read "Safe Zone" in thick letters, like someone had tried to make the words stronger by making them bigger. A guard watched us from behind the wire. His face was hard, sleep-starved. He wore a red armband and didn't smile when he opened the gate. Inside, the compound was mud and tents and stacked crates. A barrel fire burned in the courtyard. Men with rifles watched us like we were supplies, not people. A soldier named Rowan, red armband, quiet voice, took our names and asked if we'd been bitten. He didn't ask if we were hungry. He didn't ask if we were hurt. Mara leaned close to me. "Eyes open," she murmured. Grant seemed relieved at first. Elise too. They kept repeating the word "safe" like it was a prayer. But prayers don't stop the way men look at women when they think the world has no consequences. That night, we were placed in a barracks room with a locked door. A heavy bolt slid into place from the outside. The sound made my skin crawl. Rowan came in later, alone, and talked like he was offering a deal. His words were calm, but his meaning wasn't. He said the soldiers had needs. He said the safe zone required cooperation. Mara stood straight, pipe in hand. "Open the door," she said. Rowan's eyes flicked to me, then back to her. "Don't make this hard." That was when I understood what Mara had warned me about. The infected weren't the only monsters left. When Rowan left, Mara searched the room, found a loose vent, and pried it open. Beyond it was a narrow service hallway lined with pipes. Red emergency light washed the corridor like a warning. We crawled through. Somewhere nearby, boots hit the floor. Voices. A laugh that didn't belong in a place like this. We moved fast, sliding along the wall toward a door labeled Armory. Mara's hands shook for the first time since I'd met her. "Do you know what you're doing?" I asked. "No," she whispered. But I know what happens if we don't. The compound erupted into chaos before we reached the gate. An alarm began to howl. Searchlights swept across the yard. In the distance, infected slammed against the fencing, drawn by the noise, piling up like a living wave. Shouts, gunfire, screaming. Grant appeared through smoke, yelling for Elise. Elise was there too, her face white, holding the map like it was still supposed to matter. Mara grabbed my hand and pulled me toward an opening near the gate where the fence had buckled. "Infected are getting in," someone screamed. The soldiers fired into the dark, but the infected didn't slow. They hit the fence like a storm of bodies. Mara looked back once, at the safe zone, at the lights and the men and the lies. Then she dragged me out into the night. Chapter 5. The argument that could get us killed. We didn't stop running until the city glow was behind us and trees swallowed the road. Mist drifted between trunks. My legs trembled so hard I could barely stand. We crouched behind a fallen log, listening. No sirens out here. No gunfire. Just the wind and the distant memory of screams. Mara breathed through her nose, steadying herself. I tried to speak, but my voice cracked. "We left them," I said. "Grant. Elise." Mara's eyes flashed. "We left a trap. They might still be alive. And we might be dead if we go back." I hated how simple she made it sound. Like human life was a math problem. But the truth was, she'd kept me alive since the moment we met. At dawn, we reached an abandoned gas station. The pumps were shattered. The store smelled like old oil and dust. Mara searched shelves for anything useful while I stood watch with a rusty wrench in my hand. I kept thinking about the compound, the locked door, the calm voice, the red armband. The way safe had meant owned. Back on the road, the world opened into fields. The sky brightened, and for a moment the sun looked almost normal. Birds circled above the empty lanes. I realized I didn't know what our plan was anymore. Mara slowed, and we walked side by side, exhausted. "Where are we going?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "Somewhere with fewer people." That's not a plan. It's the only plan that has worked. Hours later, we found a farmhouse with a cracked window and dust on every surface. On the table was a note beside an old radio and a folded map. Mara read it silently, and her face tightened. "What does it say?" I asked. Mara looked at me like she was weighing the truth against the damage it might do. "It changes things," she said. Outside, we climbed to a hilltop as the sun began to drop. The grass was tall and cold against my legs. Below us, the distant outline of a town sat under thin columns of smoke. On the ground, someone had laid white fabric strips in a huge signal, like they were trying to be seen from the sky. I stared at it and felt something I hadn't felt since I woke up. A pull. A possibility. Mara stared too, and I could sense an argument building between us, sharp and dangerous, the kind that could decide whether we kept moving or stood our ground. In this world, the wrong choice didn't just break trust. It got you killed. If you enjoyed this survival horror story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, activate notifications so you don't miss the next story. Give the video a like, comment what you think the survivors should do next, and share this video with anyone who loves scary apocalypse stories.